By now, you've heard us talking about Tiger TV Pro. Hi, David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs, here to remind you about this incredible streaming service with over 6,000 premium channels. And the cost, you ask? $15 a month. Yes, only $15 a month. Every sports channel is available, including the ACC and SEC Network, the NFL, NBA, MLB, HBO, Showtime, and thousands more. For more info, go to our website at espnpc.com. Scroll down and click the Tiger logo.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Life can throw a lot at us, but what helps us through it is knowing we have a place where we feel loved, grounded, and safe. A place where we belong. A place called home. But for thousands of youth living on the streets, there's no such thing as home. Out here, it's a predatory world that can destroy lives forever. At Covenant House, we care for homeless and at-risk youth, working in communities just like yours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Here, these kids will get a shower, clean clothes, nourishing meals, and a safe place to sleep. Our caring staff teach life skills, offer stability, and encourage kids to believe in themselves so they stay off the streets for good. We're committed to giving lost, scared, and hurting children a place to go, a place to call home. To help or get help, go to safeplacetosleep.org.
Wildfires and other disasters are becoming a way of life. For many, like John Haggard, preparing go bags is essential.
I think it's important to prepare a go bag. When it comes to fire, seconds can make the difference between life and death.
Advanced preparation relieves stress. John's wife, Dana, felt that relief firsthand.
We were able to take our bags and be out the door in 10 minutes.
Suggestions for putting together your own go bag are available from FEMA at ready.gov. And you can search go bags on
Haven, WTOT, W271D in Mariana, WVLQ Port St. Joe, powered by Pepsi, ESPN Northwest Florida. Welcome to the house. It's time for the Afternoon Underdogs.
It's happening. Wow. It's on right now.
Opinionated and unfiltered. The hot takes, the rants, and the sports talk you crave.
Give it to me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
What's going on, Northwest Florida? You are now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida. That's 104.3 in Panama City, 102.1 in Mariana, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and be sure to like and share the Facebook page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and download the app and register, all at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. When we were headed out to Dave & Buster's today, the rain looked like it was going to give us some issues. So we're actually inside at Dave & Buster's today. We're in Function Room 1. So if you do happen to come out, just pop your head in. Come hang out with us here in Function Room 1. We're around all of the best games as it is. And today at Dave & Buster's, as it is every Wednesday, half-price game. So come check it out. Also, now that it's 4 o'clock, happy hour has commenced. So from 4 to 7 p.m. today, you get half-price cocktails and half-price games. It's the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with Kyle Wright. We should have the assistant general manager of Dave & Buster's in the building with us here soon, and Amanda Muller. More than likely, no Drew Gorman today, which means this is going to be one of the best shows that we... No, I'm just kidding, Drew. If you're out there listening, man, we miss you. We'll have you tomorrow, hopefully. If not, we'll see how it goes.
Also, if you'd stay off your phone, maybe... maybe the job will get done a little quicker.
Yeah, there we go. Things that we talk about behind the scenes. And we're going to be talking about a lot today behind the scenes because...
Segue, David Hayes.
We're keeping things rolling with the Go-to-Goats, which is a fun thing. And we've narrowed it down. We've changed some things up, and we'll talk about that more in the next segment. But instead of trying to, mesh sports jerseys and logos and stadiums and all of that good stuff and having 4 separate brackets of 16, we're just going to go straight with 32 sports video games, 32 sports movies, and whittle it down from there. Because if we try to make this go on too long, we're going to be in the middle of the NFL season. So Kyle had the great idea to try to just have it with things that make sense in sports video games and sports movies. So that way you get to a final and it's, as you mentioned earlier, Kyle, Lambeau Field versus Madden 2005 or whatever. Well, the people who like going to stadiums and stuff are going to pick the stadium, and the people who like video games are more than likely going to go with the video game, and you don't really get a clear-cut answer there. Right. Whereas sports video games and sports movies, there's a lot of people who ride that line. They like sports video games, they like sports movies, and the best part, I think, of all of this, in my opinion, is that there's so many people out there who are not fans of sports per se, but love sports video games and love sports movies and all of that good stuff that goes along with it. 850-215-6290. We're not taking any calls today, but we will take your text at that number. We're also streaming, as I said earlier, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm not seeing the comments on YouTube and Twitch as much as I am Facebook, so you can comment there. Just go to ESPN Northwest Florida, and we are live right now. If you don't see our ugly faces, that's because we have the Live at Dave & Buster's slate up. We do not currently have a camera here with us. Hope everyone out there is having a wonderful afternoon. Hopefully the weather does not get too bad. We had some great basketball last night. No NHL until Thursday, which is tomorrow night, and you're going to get it started. I believe it is the Canes and the Panthers that get that series started, which should be a ton of fun, man. You've got the southernmost teams, it feels like, in the National Hockey League battling it out to see who's going to go to the finals and achieve the greatest feat in all of hockey, to win the Stanley Cup, win Lord Stanley's Cup. The Spurs last night, so they had the draft lottery for the NBA last night. And the Spurs, we had Zubin on yesterday. Zubin Mehenti is a SportsCenter anchor, and he brought up, something that I didn't even think about, but David Robinson, #1 overall pick. Tim Duncan, #1 overall pick. And now the trifecta, if you will, in Victor Wembanyama. Man, so the Spurs, they've got the #1 pick. They win the lottery last night. More than likely on June 22nd, when the draft happens, they're going to be taking Victor Wembanyama. And you got to think, too, if you're Greg Popovich, that's one of those reasons that's, hey, I'm getting up there in age, but let's see where this baby goes.
A chance to rejuvenate his career, if you will, to at least rejuvenate the excitement in his career.
Yeah.
So, big time. Actually watched the draft lottery last night with Miles Lashley.
Did you?
Your former colleague came up and sat at the bar with me for a little bit, and he had a couple beers, and we were sitting there watching it, and then of course it got busy, and I didn't get to watch anything else for it until the Lakers Nuggets started, which was, we're gonna get into that soon.
Oh, absolutely.
What a barn burner.
Yeah, so Spurs getting the #1 overall pick there, which is great for San Antonio after having such a tough year last year. They did get the #1 overall pick, which is great. You got to think Dallas, man, instead of trading for Kyrie Irving, could have, just continued to bomb this season and got a little bit closer up there in odds. I would have liked to see him go to the Pistons, even though the Pistons are looking for a head coach currently. That young roster that they have over there with Cade Cunningham and some of the other guys, I think that he could have meshed well there. But I don't think that any coach gives him the upper hand, if you will, more so than what Pop does. You know what I mean? He's already built up David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and so he can just kind of follow along that line. So I think that this, in all honesty, is the best fit for Victor Wembanyama.
So I want to ask you, though, obviously with Charlotte getting the #2 pick, that means more than likely Brandon Miller is going to be a Charlotte Hornet. How do you feel about that? As Alabama has only put out a handful of lottery picks. Right?
Yeah. There's not a litany of them. I'm not even sure where Colin Sexton, as far as what pick he was drafted.
He was at the draft. He was at the lottery last night.
At the lottery last night. That's really cool. I mean, Brandon Miller going over there to the Hornets. I kind of like what they're building. I don't know if it's ever going to come to fruition. I don't know if LaMelo Ball is he one of your centerpieces? Because if you're going to pay him like a centerpiece, is he going to be healthy enough to take you there? Is Brandon Miller even that type of guy? I mean, that's what guys, when you talk about top draft picks and they get into the March Madness tournament and they're not making deep runs and they didn't have a good tournament. Now, there were so many things swirling around him with all of the trouble off of the court, or the situation rather that was happening off the court, all the protests there at the SEC tournament and all of that good stuff. But I think Brandon Miller to Charlotte could be interesting, but I don't think that Brandon Miller moves the team. I don't think Victor Wembanyama moves the team in year one. Especially, we talked about all of the expectations that surround Victor Wembanyama and what they're going to be dealing with. It's hard for me to believe that you can not even exceed, just meet those expectations, because it's a lot of high praise. Now, LeBron James is the last and maybe only one that we were jockeying around this conversation earlier. And I don't know if there's been another athlete that's really lived up and exceeded expectations the way that LeBron James has.
Right.
And this is a tough, that's a tough man to be compared to, especially, when LeBron came to the league, Jordan was already gone.
Right.
Whereas Victor's coming to the league and LeBron's still there, and he has a say-so in who is going to be the top dog.
Yeah, and not only that, but being in the Western Conference, assuming, San Antonio doesn't make a huge mistake, he's going to have to play LeBron 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So,
which is going to be really great TV. And then you think about it, then in year 2, let's say, my thing is the stature, the build. Victor Wembanyama is 7'3", but he looks like me. If I was 7'3", very skinny is what I mean there. And so he'll get an entire year to build there, but dude, USC is going to be having Bronny.
Yep.
You got to think he's only going to play 1 year at the collegiate level, unless the NIL money is just too good. But I still, even then, I think
he's a lottery pick on his name.
Yeah, he's a lottery pick on his name. Then you think about him and his dad joining forces. That to me you can't write better TV than that.
No, I agree.
All right, so that's awesome, though. For the Spurs, I think that's awesome, and we'll see how Victor Wembanyama ends up playing out. Steve Kerr says that the Warriors never regained trust after the Draymond punch. I mean, look at their road record for me. I mean, there's so many excuses you could get to before you get to the Draymond punching Jordan Poole, which happened before the season even started. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that this does play a role in your chemistry. But if they couldn't regain the trust from this happening prior to the season starting, then you get to the playoffs. You don't need any more motivation than that. Then you get to the second round and you're playing the King and LeBron James. You definitely don't need any more motivation than that. So if trust was the determining factor in the eyes of Steve Kerr, then who's going? Is it Draymond Green? Is it Jordan Poole?
What if I throw you an and situation?
Both of them?
Where they both end up on different teams next year. And I can't take credit for this. Colin Cowherd has been riding this bus a lot lately. Of course, listening to that here on ESPN Northwest Florida after the Inside Drive, of course, which I got to sit in on a little bit today and listen to Ryan Mulvey do his thing.
Great job. Don't they do a great job?
Yeah, man, he does. He's excellent. He's got a lot of knowledge, and shout out to him. But I was listening to Colin Cowherd here on the station the other day, and he threw out a situation where if Boston doesn't win the championship again, you could see a situation where maybe it's like a 1-and-1 trade where it's Jaylen Brown to Golden State for, I think it was Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson at that point, because Klay's kind of on the decline.
Yeah, and he's getting up there in age too.
But Boston, it's really an even trade if you really think about it, because like Jaylen Brown is a superstar in the making, and then you're getting Jordan Poole, who without Stephen Curry on the court has been incredible, and you get Klay Thompson, who at any point can snap for 40, 50 points. He obviously does it a lot less, but it was an interesting situation. And I just think Draymond Green, man, anytime you're willing to do that once, I've never seen an athlete like pull themselves out and not have more issues in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been one of those things. Look, Jordan Poole, he last year in the playoffs just became someone that we didn't know that he was capable of that.
Right.
Then he then he reverts track so much. So maybe in the playoffs, which, that's hindsight 50-50, right? We didn't know that he was not going to be as good as what he was last year. And he still kind of had the same opportunity where Steph wasn't in the lineup for the 100% or for the entire season. He dealt with injuries again this year. And so you would have thought that Jordan Poole finds that comfortability again. But maybe the whole reason is Draymond Green and Steph and Clay have been there, done that. Then you get a guy who comes in year one after winning a championship, and all of a sudden is like, hey, I'm the big dog here, and maybe Draymond just needed to put him in his place. But at the same time, you create that kind of civil distance in between the youth and the vets of the locker room there.
Yeah, I just never think that that's going to end well.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Warriors blow it up, but also I would be on the merit of Steve Kerr. If Steph Curry and Klay Thompson feel like that they can do it again with the same kind of core that they have and figure out the role players and the depth there, I would not be surprised to see Draymond go, but I would be more so surprised to see them break up the Splash Brothers. But still,
right.
They're not 1A and 1B anymore. It's a solo show from Steph Curry, and then you get flashes from Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's we also got a text in from Steven Seifert. He says Brandon Miller's a shooter, that's for sure, or an accessory too. That's from Steven Seifert. We also got a text for Go Chipley Tigers. They won their semifinal game today. I don't have the update just yet, but I'm going to be clicking on that to see how Holmes County did as well. If so, then you're going to get yourself a panhandle matchup. Oh, and Holmes County fell short to Lafayette. So it's going to be Chipley versus Lafayette, and then we'll find out when they play. But that's going to be a good one. So now it is Go Chipley all day, and then Arnold and Wakulla, I believe, in softball will be playing tonight. So it's Go Arnold Marlins.
Absolutely. Go Bay County, I guess Jackson County for Chipley, right? And just go the whole panhandle.
Go panhandle. Go Bay County.
Strong.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So about last night, the Nuggets outlast the Lakers in game one. Honestly, when I first started writing this, I didn't even look up any stats or anything from last night. And I watched the game up until about mid-fourth quarter, maybe fourth quarter just starting. I was like, okay, this one's going to be one of those games and the Nuggets were in control the entirety of the game. So I said the Nuggets shellac the Lakers, and then I go back and I look at the final score just to double check everything, and I'm like, oh wow, 132 to 126. I don't think that you can call that a shellacking. That's a outlasting, if you will. I mean, Nikola Jokic with the explosion that he's had over the last 3 or 4 years, and one of his best parts of his game is passing the ball. But what he had 34 points last night, 21 rebounds, 14 assists to go along with that. I mean, AD and LeBron both had themselves a heck of a night last night as well. But when Jokic is on and he gets just a 15% or 20% output from his teammates, the Nuggets are a dangerous team. What did you take away from that game last night?
Man, it's crazy, right? Because I had made a post on Facebook probably a little prematurely, but the Nuggets were up 20 about midway through the third quarter, maybe a little earlier than that, but let's say about midway through the third quarter, because it was like 101 to 81 or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, man, the Lakers are 81 points through the third quarter. That's a good game. The Lakers are playing really well, and the Nuggets are just crushing them. I mean, they were hitting everything. And so I was like, man, I don't know if anybody wants the Nuggets right now. This team might be unstoppable. The next thing you know, I do a couple things at work, and LeBron makes a big assist to Austin Reeves, and holy cow, they're only down 10. And then it's like 7 minutes left, and all of a sudden now they're back down 15 or something like that, and it's like, okay, well, 7 minutes left. They got their little run in. Now it's probably over. Next thing you know, man, they're down by 3 with a chance to tie the game. LeBron missed a big 3 at that point, but I don't think he should have been the one taking that 3. But that's a whole different conversation. Mm-hmm. But man, I think I learned more about LA coming out of this game than I did the Nuggets. The Nuggets had a great game. They took their foot off the gas, and they gave LA a lot of momentum going into game 2, because you make a big run like that, especially on the road against the number 1 seed in the second half of the second half. that says a lot about your team. You have no quit, and LeBron he took over, man. I know people don't like him, and I'll give you some rightfully so in that arena, but the dude took over the game. He had 26 and 12, and a lot of those assists and points were in the second half. So kudos to the Lakers. Kudos to the Nuggets, of course, taking that 1-0 lead, but I learned more about the Lakers. I still think right now, I might say Lakers in 7.
I'm not going to jump into we can get into who we think. I think it's going to be Nuggets. I think it's Nuggets in 6. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see Lakers in 7 or the Nuggets in 7. I would not be surprised at all to see a 7-game series. However, I just think that the front court of the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic, it's like, when is he off, and how do you stop that? You had one of the greatest games from Anthony Davis in these playoffs with 40 points, and that went nowhere. Well, I don't want to say it went nowhere because, like you said, if you're the Lakers, you feel very positive about going into game 2. You know what you have to do or you know what you can do, what you're capable of against the Nuggets. But outside of that, though, everything else kind of points positively for the Nuggets here going into the second game. But that's why we play these games. What did we say last week or last round, rather? Warriors, Lakers. And this is why I say I don't want to say too much about it and how great this series could be, because I feel like I jinxed it all from that Warriors-Lakers series, because I did, right, Amanda? Because it was one of those things where I was like, man, this is going to be so great. Look at game 1. And then this, game 1 was not the greatest of game 1s until you get to the tail end of the fourth quarter. And I don't want to jinx it. I want good basketball. And you're here in the Western Conference, Eastern Conference Finals, and you've got a big one tonight in the Eastern Conference, man. A lot of people are, turning a blind eye at the Miami Heat, saying that, they're not that good. They're not good enough to beat the Boston Celtics. We'll see, man. What's your first outlook? And we'll dive deeper into this in our Would You Rather segment today at 5 o'clock. But what's your first initial preview of the Celtics Heat tonight, game 1?
I would say I would not be shocked to see Boston win this series very quickly. This is as a Miami Heat fan, big time. I love my boys.
It's a great hat too.
He's wearing the alternate Miami, Miami Vice cap, and it looks like some cotton candy. I just want to take a bite out of it.
Like, it's the perfect colors.
You can have a bite, dude, if you want a bite. Anyway.
Later.
Afternoon, the late night underdogs. I think that Miami just feels like a championship team this year. And maybe that's because I'm a Miami fan. Maybe that's just because I'm riding the high of, absolutely destroying the Bucks. We really dominated the Knicks for the most part. I just really feel like this Miami Heat team feels like a championship team. And we're missing Tyler Hero. Jimmy Butler kind of didn't play great at the tail end of the Knicks series. But Bam Adebayo's coming on. Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus. These guys are all undrafted and having huge key roles in these games. They just feel like a team of destiny. And also, Eric Spoelstra, we talked about it on the way here. Mm-hmm. He's already in the top 5 for career postseason wins as a head coach. And the dude's got to be the most underrated coach in NBA history. Might be the best head coach in the NBA right now. I can't count Miami out.
And that's a wild thing to talk about when you've got Popovich in there, Steve Kerr, the runs that he's had, of course, and all of that good stuff.
Yeah,
but
Kerr
lost in the sauce of it, though, is Eric Spoelstra, because when he was brought to Miami, or rather when he was promoted up to be the head coach there for the Miami Heat, it was like, well, okay, this guy's just being brought in to be the pawn for LeBron James, so LeBron James can build that roster. And it looked, ever so clear to be that way, because you bring in LeBron, then all of a sudden D-Wade resigns in the midst of all his free agency questioning, and then you bring in Chris Bosh, which, just imagine how that triple team or trifecta goes if he was able to stay healthy through no fault of his own, so it always felt like Spoelstra was just there to kind of be a placemat, and he's 3 out of the last 4 Eastern Conference Finals, he's had his Heat in the mix there. And with what? Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Okay, I'll give you those 2 guys, but how often? Oh, LeBron needs help if he's going to make a run. LeBron needs this, but Jimmy Butler consistently gets his team in the right position to at least make runs.
I promise you that Miami Heat fans have been saying that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, on our side of it. And obviously, Jimmy Butler, nowhere near, like, as good as he is, nowhere near the player LeBron James has been, been able to be. But, yeah, man. I mean,
I don't think he gets. I don't think Jimmy Butler gets the credit that he deserves, and I dang sure don't think that Coach Spo gets the credit that he deserves. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Braves coming up after the Afternoon Underdogs tonight. Coverage starting at 6. First pitch tonight at 7:05. We're going to take a quick timeout. Then we'll get right back into our behind the scenes for the GOAT of GOATs.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The tradition continues.
That ball's going to be out of here.
America's team plays here.
Bombs away.
The Atlanta Braves are back and making a statement.
Ronald Acuna just clobbered one to left.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball in a rich audio experience live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here comes the thunder.
Sponsored by Goldberg Kia, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, Stormore Portable Buildings, and Brock Pest Control.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Wednesday. Light sprinkles and a chance of thunderstorms the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze out of the west-southwest around 11 miles per hour and look for it to be 82. Tonight there will be sprinkles and a chance of thunderstorms with the temperature reaching 71. This weather is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Hi, this is Matt Lewis with Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. We offer comprehensive diagnostics and repair service for all types of hydraulic units, such as hydraulic and pneumatic cylinders, hydraulic pumps, motors, and valves, as well as a broad range of hydraulic hoses and O-rings. Give us a call at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions at 850-326-3000 for any of your hydraulic needs. Or come see us on Commercial Drive off Jinx Avenue in Panama City.
You want a big-time sports show? Tune in for the Afternoon Underdogs.
We're live and local here.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
We need one more SEC team in there to shake things up.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are live and local. We're out here at Dave & Buster's. It's half-price games Wednesdays. It's also happy hour right now from 4 to 7 p.m. That's half-price cocktails. And we're right in here inside of function room number 1 instead of the patio today because, like Florida weather always does,
it might rain.
It might rain, no doubt.
Thundering my whole way here, and I'm just looking up wondering
where
this is coming from.
Yeah, that's so that was one of the decisions. Well, not a decision we made by any means, but Dave & Buster's made. We just said, hey, if you could put us anywhere inside today, that would be great. Sports Lounge is going to be open today. Mm-hmm. So we're out here in function room number 1 with a very cool light show outside of the door. But just pop your head on in if you want to, man, and we'll get you guys on the air with us and come hang out and support Dave & Buster's because, I mean, first off, they got great food, but also the games, man. See if you can come out here and beat. I'll let Kyle get off the air for a couple seconds if you want to challenge him in any type of games.
What's the free throw?
Shot?
Yeah,
Super shot.
I'm still the big one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, nothing but net.
Nothing but net. I'm still waiting to cook one of our listeners in nothing but net.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Nothing but net.
I'm the Mario Kart champion around here, so if you're interested in Mario Kart,
the Hot Wheels game looked pretty cool.
It is. That one's pretty fun, but I mean, it's tough because you're right next to somebody, so you can really just like throw a shoulder and mess them up. Mario Kart, you could as well, but usually just use the shells for that.
One of the physical games around here. That, ladies and gentlemen, the voice that you're hearing is Amanda Muller. She's the assistant general manager out here at Dave & Buster's, and she also does the show with us on Thursdays as well. Cannot wait for that tomorrow. But let's get into what we've been working on the last 2 weeks. Our GOAT of GOATs. So, Kyle, where are we at in this whole tournament?
Process.
Well,
process is better because we haven't made it to tournament quite yet.
Folks, ball up the paper that you thought you had, and we're gonna
redo her.
We're kind of changing the game plan here, not completely. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have at least, I'm gonna say the words at least 32 sports video games and at least 32 sports movies. We're going to take these and we're going to put them into, I think instead of this year, like not randomizing it, we are going to create the bracket.
Yeah.
And what we'll do.
Pick the 1 seed. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll get to pick the 1 seeds, which is, I think, the ultimate task of next week.
We got too much hate last year for
the seeding.
Yeah, and it was like,
Right, 'cause
dude.
you could have a baller movie up against one of the okay ones. Like,
Right.
that's not fair.
Yeah, so what's going to end up happening is today we're going to pick the 32. That's the goal, at least. We're going to pick the 32 movies, and then we'll see if we have time for games. And then we'll take those. And if we get more, if we get up to like 40, that's fine. Then we will pick the bottom 8 and put those in our play-in.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So I made a post yesterday about the number 1 sports, about some of the best sports movies. So you want to go over that post, Dave? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm on the video games right now, so we can.
I'm heading back to movies right now with 66 comments on that post, by the way.
Yes,
Because I think it's just one of those questions that every single person, even non-sports fans, it elicits a feeling, and they're like, "This is it. That's the one."
Yep, I have to agree. So let's go. We have Gridiron Gang, right?
I do love Gridiron Gang.
So we're definitely putting that down. Good movie. I think that's.
So, I like this that we're going to go ahead and get into the movies rather than the video games because we were doing the video games so much last week.
Yeah. So Gridiron Gang, I think that's the movie that kind of put The Rock's movie career like in a full gear. Like I know Scorpion King was big.
It was a different role for him finally because they always typecast him as the same guy in Gridiron Gang. You're like, oh, this dude could actually act. And
exactly.
Yeah, I loved that movie. I think it was done well. Hit me in the feels like a good sports movie should.
Exhibit that was in that movie with him?
Maybe, yeah, I think so.
I think so.
See, this is not going to be my strong suit, is talking about movies. So I'm glad I've got you guys.
It's okay, because there's plenty. That was from William Young.
Okay.
Greg Calvert came in with Hoosiers. That's got to be on this list.
I think that's going to be a play-in one.
Get through your comments, and then we'll see if I.
Yeah, I mean, I'm writing them down.
Okay.
The Legend of Bagger Vance.
That's got to be.
It's for golf movies. I mean.
Yeah.
That Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay,
and there's a couple of them, but to The Legend of Bagger Vance, I actually watched that the other night while I was playing some golf on the Xbox, and I was like, this is a fantastic movie. My brother had told me about it a while back, but...
Matt Damon.
Will Smith.
Will Smith, whichever direction you go. I just thought that it was a great movie.
Great.
Yeah, the plot of the story was fantastic. And it's just one of those, anytime you watch a movie from the early 2000s or beyond that, you get that thing that you don't necessarily get today in that feeling. Not just a nostalgia feeling, but they get you in the feels and they kind of strike every different type of emotional chord that you have in your body.
I love that.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to have to make a watch list, and I'm going to have to watch some of these movies.
Oh, yeah.
If
not, then why are we ranking them?
I'm just saying, there's a lot that people are mentioning that people are, excited about here that I haven't.
You haven't seen?
That I haven't necessarily seen.
Have you seen The Legend of Bagger Vance?
I've seen Bagger Vance, of course. I've seen every Will Smith movie. He's, in my opinion,
he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. I love Will Smith.
Men in Black, no hate, love it.
More of a Chris Rock type of guy.
I don't know. Will Smith movies, I'm with you.
He's
I know. I was just making a little slap back of a joke.
Slap back. I like it.
My wife's name.
Drop it. Do it. You sponsored.
No. She don't sponsor the FCC.
Yeah, I've got an Eminem song in my head now.
Oh, yeah. The FCC won't let. All right.
There we go. All right. So that was David Kelly coming in with that comment. Also dropping Rudy on us, which I honestly I've seen once, but way back in the day.
Yeah, you got to rewatch Rudy. That's one of those. Yeah, just do it.
I'm going to throw these ones that we're not sure about up here at the top of the page and not by a number here.
That's fine. So I'm just writing everything down, and then we'll put our list together. We have Cody Puckett coming in with Waterboy, which to me is absolutely in the bracket. This is got to be in there. Pretty much
I
any.
think you could do a whole bracket with just Will Smith and Adam Sandler movies.
Okay, so Kyle LaMonaco came in with Vision Quest, which I don't know if I've heard of this movie. So
I was about to say, you replied and said it was an awesome movie, but that was Cody.
That's not me. That's not I.
Vision Quest, yeah.
Is that a sports movie?
We're going to find out. I've never heard
we'll
of
have to Google that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Google that so you don't waste your time, Kyle.
No, go ahead. So Josh Tucker came in with The Sandlot, which is an absolutely top-ranked movie of all time.
That one's great.
When you're looking at 1 seeds, this might have to be up there.
There are kids out here saying you're killing me, Smalls, and not knowing why.
Yeah, exactly.
So to Vision Quest real quick. It does need to be up here at the top. Maybe not a lot of people know about this. I've never watched it, but it's about a high school wrestler who feels he must do something significant in his life shortly after turning 18. So it could be one of those ones. Yeah, it could be.
It's on the watch
could
list.
be pretty good. Vision Quest will be up there.
I'm putting it on my watch list.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can you post the watch list later?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, this is for.
I know, but I'm probably going to agree with you.
Yeah,
If you
fair
haven't
enough.
seen it, I probably haven't.
I put Hoosiers, Rudy, and Vision Quest.
Okay.
I've never seen
You've
Hoosiers.
seen Rudy, but you need to rewatch.
Hoosiers is good.
Okay, so Cody Puckett came in with 3 automatic ons, which I'm going to change one of his comments here. Okay, so first of all, remember the Titans.
Could that be the number one seed?
That's probably the number 1 overall seed, which will next week is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
we're going to get into fights.
Well, the thing is honestly, we're going to do Would You Rather today at 5 o'clock. And outside of that, besides our local segment at 5:40, we can get into it.
I'm down. I'm in. Cody Puckett also said Radio, which is just an incredible movie.
Yeah.
Love Cuba Gooding Jr.
And just real quick here, just so the listeners know what we're doing. This again, this is the Go to Goats tournament, and so right now we're taking all kind of applications for movies. We're doing sports movies, sports video games. 850-215-6290, and we're gonna put these guys into a order of ranking. We're gonna make our own little March Madness type bracket. That'll be the Go to Goats bracket. We're still figuring out if we're gonna do it the way that we did it last year, or if we put it on a website or some other way. But the whole purpose of this is for you guys to vote. It gives us another chance to interact with you guys.
Absolutely, and the goal I think is to officially start this 2 weeks from today.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
We can make this happen.
So all right. So also longest yard, both versions he put, but I'm going to change.
The Adam Sandler version is superb.
Superb, right? And I think that's got to be the one that we put down.
Okay, that's fine.
So longest yard's going to go down.
All right, Adam
Such a great
Sandler.
movie.
Yeah.
Nelly, man. Out here
So
doing
good.
backflips.
But still, though, I do think that the old one deserves a nod. But
Right,
I
he
don't
gets
think
the
that
nod, but that was a
What if we did this, Kyle? What if we did the longest yard play-in game? Even though I think that the longest yard is a for sure top 32, especially with Adam Sandler. But what if we did and saw how the listeners thought about that, the viewers thought about that, with which one was better? In fact, we can kind of get a broad response now if you're listening on Facebook or right now in your car and you got some time to text 850-215-6290. Which longest yard did you like better? Sorry to keep interrupting you, brother.
Don't interrupt me on your show, Dennis. Please don't ever again. Chris Purser came in with a couple here. Major League, absolutely on the list. I'm going to put that on my watch list again just because it has been a long time, but that's
I'm checking off my list over here, making sure that I was like, these are the ones that we have to say.
Oh, yeah. And Major League, even Major League 2, I think Major League 1 is the one that you go with, but Major League 2, I can't remember. I think that there is a third one, but I don't think that I've seen it. But Major League 1 is just a bit outside.
Absolutely. Of course, they came in with Sandlot again. Field of Dreams.
Yep.
That's on there.
On my list, okay.
That's also one to me that it's such a great movie, but you better not be tired when you're going to put that one on.
Yeah, that's
fair.
But still, like the Field of Dreams game that they're doing every year now.
Yeah. Well, it's on a little hiatus, but they're doing some work.
That's what they were doing, and I love it. I was here for it.
100%.
Bull Durham. I don't know this movie, to be 100% honest with you.
Gotta watch it, man.
Yeah? All right, I'm going to put it on my watch list.
I'm absolutely terrible at recalling how movies, play out and all of that good stuff. But Bull Durham is one of those ones, much like The Rookie. Like if The Rookie isn't on this list, and a lot of people find that to be, maybe overrated.
No.
But those are movies when I was growing up, like, dude, like Major League, like you gotta watch these. So Bull Durham is an absolute must watch.
I'm gonna put The Rookie on my list.
The Rookie on my list. So don't worry, it'll make it.
All right, so The Natural. I don't know this one either.
So this is basically, man, I'm trying to. It's a.
I think I have enough time in 2 weeks.
No, you do not. And I think The Natural's like a 3-hour long movie.
I do drive an hour and a half to work, so.
Yeah, you go.
So there you go. Advocate for watching movies while you're driving.
Get someone to drive you.
Oh, there you go. You just Uber.
There you go.
So The Natural is 2 hours and 24 minutes. It's it's not a movie that stands out to me as much, but it is. It's definitely a classic. So it has to have a nod on here somewhere. Maybe it's not in the top 32, but it works its way in as a play-in game.
That's fair enough. I'm gonna write. Okay, let's say Moneyball. Right?
Yes. On my list.
Moneyball was
to
good.
be.
I had to watch this movie twice. The first time I could not get into it. But
was it weird seeing Jonah Hill
kind of? But after kind of like what you said with which one was it? The 3-hour movie? Or you said don't put it on if you're tired.
That is the Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. Yeah, that's the way this Moneyball movie was for me. Money in the Ball. I wrote. Well, can you tell I'm a wrestling fan?
Money in the Bank.
I'm so excited for Money in the Bank. Trouble with the Curve.
Ooh, I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
Oh, I have not seen that, but heard about it, and we've got a lot of comments on Facebook that I'm missing here too. So
Drop them in.
So
they're live listening. These are just people. 42 gotta go.
42's got to be on there. Mighty Ducks.
Of course, Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks. The Miracle. This is all from Kyle Albert right here.
Man, I didn't even do my
golly, we've missed a lot of comments, y'all. Rocky.
Of course.
Rocky.
We'll be done with 32 in a second. Slapshot, I can't remember off the top of my head if I've seen it. But I want to say that I've had Coach Carter.
Oh,
Coach
How can we not have that one on there?
Sports movie, slightly, but Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings, come on.
Right, like you got.
Come on, Cool Runnings.
Shout out to my mom with Facing the Giants, little faith-based football movie.
There you go. I remember that one.
Love that movie.
Yeah,
that might end up as a play-in, but I'm gonna write it down.
They're moving so quick now.
They are.
I'm saying you better write down Cool Runnings.
I don't know.
You don't know Cool Runnings?
Cool Runnings is the bobsled movie.
Oh my God! Team.
Yeah, I've seen it.
John Candy.
Dummy. I'm so sorry. Little Giants, is that?
Yes, Little Giants. I rewatched that the other day, and not even gonna lie.
This might end up being a 60-40 thing.
This is what I was trying to tell you. Is you start thinking about movies.
Get down to that's like the 32. I believe in us.
I believe in us and prolonging this as long as we possibly can. The replacement. That's Falco. Yeah, Keanu Reeves. We can put the replacements in there. I think that one should. I think the replacement should be a play-in game against Any Given Sunday.
Okay.
I feel like those games kind of
Friday Night Live.
It's just. And the longer the more that we do this, it's gonna start looking. My sheet is gonna start looking just like the one from last week, where I just got a bunch of words.
Did we already write down the rookie?
Yeah, the rookie's in there.
Yeah,
the rookie is in there.
On there yet?
Happy Gilmore has not been written down, but we need to go ahead and put Happy Gilmore down because
that's needed.
I'm not putting that.
How about Gleam in the Cube? Have you seen Gleam in the Cube? I haven't, but Caveman Rick always talks about it, so I know that it's got to be somewhat good.
I got one that I know Caveman Rick will like on this list, and that's Invincible. Mark Wahlberg trying out for the Eagles. That's a great movie.
And it's Mark Wahlberg.
Caveman Rick says old version for
Longest Yard.
The Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds.
But he was
Bull
in both.
Durham, very quotable.
Burt Reynolds is in both.
that's very fair. Right State Chris says Bull Durham, very quotable. We've got that one in there. Eddie the Eagle and Cool Running for Olympic movies. Don't know about Eddie the Eagle though, so maybe that has to get on to the watch list there. Boring movie. The Natural is says Caveman Rick. Kyle Alberton says My Mom Loves The Blind Side. That's one that I think needs some honorable mention.
The Blind Side and Bend It Like Beckham. Sports movies and chick flicks at the same time.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about Bend It Like Beckham, but Sandra Bullock can be on any movie.
Blind Side. I mean, that's got to be tough. We need to make a football movie that chicks want to watch, and they nailed it.
Yeah, no, 100%. They
Absolutely. Man, I just had one on the tip of my tongue here. It was a comedy movie, but a lot of these are, of course, Kicking and Screaming.
I love
with Will Ferrell. With Will Ferrell,
You're the jukebox guy.
You're the jukebox.
Golly, how about Never Back Down?
Oh, yeah,
Never Back Down's got to
We
be on
watched
there.
Kicking and Screaming probably last summer with Brody because he hadn't seen it yet. And, of course, he knows I'm a Bears fan and he plays soccer. And I'm just like, I'm way more into this movie than this kid is, but it's okay.
I got one for you.
All right.
How about Ready to Rumble?
Okay.
Ready to run. Okay, so you got to watch. This has got to be put on your watch list.
Is this
This
Give
a
me the
wrestling movie?
explanation.
It
It
is
was
a
David
wrestling
Arquette.
I think I've seen this.
All the old WCW guys.
Who's the girl
Goldberg's
in
it?
it?
Sting's in it. Oh, Jesus. Don't ask me that.
Yeah, just look at it.
Is it the same girl who's like Vicky from from The Waterboy?
I think, yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie.
I don't know her name.
Yeah,
I couldn't
100%.
tell you her
Vicky
name.
Valancourt.
I will rule you.
That's a good one. I think that this one. I think that this could be. We'll put it up at the top here.
I'm gonna put it on the watch list for you. Don't worry.
Let's go to a
Or the
break and
movie
let's just keep it rolling. Y'all keep on coming with the comments. If I haven't got to yours yet, just trust me, we're going to. And same way with your text, we're starting to get text rolling in 850-215-6290. We appreciate all the feedback. We really appreciate you guys listening to while we're just talking about sports, video games, and sports movies. You guys are the entire reason that we do this. This is the Afternoon Underdogs, and it's right here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City, 102.1 in Mariana, and 101.9 in Port St. Joe. We're going to be taking a quick time out here, but first, while I'm waiting on the capability to actually be able to do that, I guess we can keep talking about
When are we going to make like a movie about like the referees and their perspective and what goes on? Because that's got to be cool.
I don't know.
Do you throw Secretariat on the list?
Secretariat, I think, needs some type of love, even if it's in a play-in game. It looks like this is going to be a 64 movie tournament with 32 play-in
Could
games.
end up being 70 with the play-ins. just
Oh,
like the
man.
Be all right, we'll get there.
All right, y'all hang with us. We're going to be right back. Thank you so much for listening.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
How's it going for us getting your coaching staff in there? Have you been able to bring some people in?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. Mr. Smith's been able to give me some spots where I can hire some coaches. You know, the hurricane and the COVID. Yeah, we kind of got depleted, not only in players but in coaches.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Wednesday. Light sprinkles and a chance of thunderstorms the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze out of the west-southwest around 11 miles per hour and look for it to be 82. Tonight there will be sprinkles and a chance of thunderstorms with the temperature reaching 71. This weather is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
The 2023 Atlanta Braves are back, and with a loaded roster of young talent and some new faces in the A, it's going to be another wild season.
Riley hammers one, deep left field, bombs away!
Tonight, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna, and your Atlanta Braves roll into Globe Life Field in Arlington to take on the AL West Texas Rangers.
Coverage starts at 6, first pitch 7:05. On your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
In your face.
Questionable calls all over the NFL this year.
On the field.
Quantify to put a value on momentum. You can't do that.
And in your radio.
Hashtag NFL Rigged.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. I want to remind you guys about our 3 fantastic local shows. We've got the Coach James Hale Show that airs Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Make sure you're tuned in then to listen to Coach Hale. Then the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley. Also Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. They had a fantastic show today. Had Keith Fleming on from 12 to 12:40. So any of you out there who, dabble in DraftKings or any type of, daily fantasy sports, I would definitely tell you to go listen to the Inside Drive in their segment today with Keith Fleming, getting you caught up for the PGA Championship. And then the Afternoon Underdogs every day from 4 to 6 p.m. or Monday through Friday from 4 to 6. We wrap up the local shows. Atlanta Braves tonight starting at 6 o'clock. We'll get you to the coverage for the Braves and the Rangers. First pitch is tonight at 7:05. All right. We got a couple of... Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I was asking on air or off air, but I want to ask on air, do we include what could be considered cheesy movies, but the kids' sports movies? And we both said the same one. So me and Kyle both said Air Bud. It's a basketball movie.
Air Bud's got to be on
Air Bud,
there.
or even Space Jam.
Oh.
Like Space Jam for me, that's...
Especially the newest
So
one.
then you got to go...
I'm not a huge basketball fan. That's not a secret, but I will sit down and watch Space Jam every time.
Space Jam's got to go up against Space Jam 2 or
Well, that's a cheesy
Legacy.
one. That's, like,
What's it called? Space Jam Legacy?
The new Legacy, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Space Jam awful
We'll just call it
versus
Space
amazing.
Jam MJ versus Space Jam LeBron.
Jesus, we all know
Guarantee
you're
you
gonna
that's
win
going to
that,
turn into like
okay?
a
It's gonna be a
political
bigger fight.
conversation where the whole thing just goes to Michael
like
Jordan or
Space
LeBron.
Jam and Air Bud. Now, I didn't like this one as much because I was an adult when it came out, but like The Rock did one on Disney. It was The Game Plan.
The Game Plan was an excellent movie,
Right?
though.
I didn't see it, but I know about it.
It was really, really good. It was his only Disney movie, I think. No, Race to Witch Mountain, I think, was a Disney movie.
Why do you know all The Rock's movies? Never mind.
Because I smell what The Rock is cooking. So
Mike McMullen says the Little Giants have to end up on this list if they haven't already. I don't have the list that Kyle's working on in front of me. I see a lot of different movies on the list I'm working on over here. Little Giants is on it. Ryan Mathis, Semi-Pro. Another Will Ferrell movie.
Oh, my
dad.
Get
My
all that.
dad
Oh,
texted
Dad's
in.
chiming in. You know we're doing good then.
But Dad texted in with 2 movies already on the list. He said Bull Durham and Moneyball.
Yeah.
So I got to watch this Bull Durham. Bull Durham's going to be at the top of my
I know,
list.
Bull Durham's going to be a movie that you watch, and then especially with the takeaways that you have from movies, you're going to be coming onto the show next Wednesday or the next time that you're on the show with me, and you're going to be quoting Bull Durham.
Okay.
I honestly thought my dad was going to go with a 1970s, like late 70s classic, Heaven Can Wait. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing.
It's kind of like banana bread at work, bro.
Banana bread at work, bro.
Ryan also says I think he means the Wild Cats, but he's got the Wild Gats on here. I think that
also
might
a
be
movie, I
what
guess.
John
Cool.
Morant, that's what he's chilling with. Let's get back over here to Facebook, see if we've got any new ones. We Are Marshall.
Oh,
Marshall's
my
amazing.
goodness. We Are Marshall. Man, that's going to be towards the top of this list, too.
It is.
This is going to be tough to seed. We're going to be debating this
I
next
mean,
week.
Jerry Maguire, if we're doing the chick flick versions.
Dodgeball from Mike Allen. Mike Allen says Dodgeball.
Yeah, Dodgeball goes. Dodgeball is 100% on the list.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
That's easily a top, but that's like easily one of the top 10 sports movie references right
Agreed,
there.
and it's an obscure sport, so do we go with the Karate Kid?
I think Karate Kids, they had a whole dang
I know.
series
That's
on
what
it.
I'm saying,
So
like, to me,
The
when I was
Jalen
in my-
Smith version, right? Never say never.
I was talking, didn't they just have like a Karate Kid?
Hey-yo.
Hey, how's it going? Karate.
Come on in,
So
friends.
we're putting the Karate Kid on.
Karate Kid's got to go on. Yeah,
All
for
right,
sure.
Karate Kid is on there then. Caveman Rick says, does Friday the 13th count because Jason wears a hockey mask? He's asking for a friend.
No.
No, that's not going to work then? All right. So we've got Kyle Albritton saying, what about Teen Wolf? What about
Wolf?
another teen movie? I don't know. We're not going to go.
They play
with that
baseball
one.
in Twilight.
All right. That's not going to do it for me.
What about Hold, please. I've got to.
Oh, okay. You're working over there.
With Kevin
I'm working
Costner.
over the game with Kevin Costner. That's an.
The game from Kevin Costner via Tommy.
All right.
Thank you,
All right.
Lisa.
Thanks, Tommy. I'm gonna put that on the must-watch list here.
What about Talladega Nights?
Talladega Nights, shake and bake.
Right?
Talladega Nights.
I think we could do a whole 64 on just Will Ferrell movies too.
But I'm trying to think of the obscure sports movies now. And I'm like, well, that's NASCAR. I mean, of course.
Oh yeah, gotta have them in there.
I mean, like I'm going with Cars at this point. I literally watched Cars before I got here because Kiddo loves his little Hot Wheels now, so we put on Cars, and now he just calls Lightning McQueen ka-chow.
You were saying Little Giants. I did write Little Giants. Okay, good.
Yeah, Little Giants.
Keep going
on
through
there.
my Facebook comments here and see what we got.
Our Facebook feed is just going crazy right now. Right State Chris with 300 because for Spartans, war was sport.
A league of their own.
A league of their own.
League of their own's got to go down. Shout out to our friend Allie Lacey, who was in the pilot episode for the reboot.
Yeah.
This is way back Rodney Dangerfield, the Ladybugs.
Never heard of her.
All right, Pete Davidson.
Angels in the outfield.
Angels in the outfield. How that's got to go on there. And again, my list now has gotten to where there is no organization.
No, I'm
to
just
it
writing,
at all.
I'm just writing down names at this
What was that
point.
movie? Okay, this is probably 90s. It was Boston Celtics. It's like three fans, and they're just trying to get to the game. Celtic Pride.
Oh, Celtic Pride.
Celtic Pride.
All right, yeah.
You said the Boston Celtics and then said Celtic Pride?
Look, okay, I'm trying to go way back in the memory bank here.
Wouldn't it be Celtic Pride at that point?
So we've got the miracle.
Still.
I don't know though, because like Sheamus is the Celtic warrior.
Right, it's Celtic,
So
not Celtic.
maybe since
The
they're
Boston
from
Celtics
Boston
are
and
confused.
they're from Boston and they're
Yeah,
idiots.
it's Celtic Pride.
That's fair.
Oh, wow.
Okay, he went to a different place, but he went Celtic Pride.
The Heat got to beat the Celtics before you can start hating on them now.
It's Boston Hate Week.
Boston Hate Week. Met a guy in Walmart last night, and he was asking me about the shirt I was wearing. It was an ESPN shirt, and then all of a sudden we just spent 10 minutes inside Walmart talking about the Celtics and the Heat series. That was a lot of fun. Also, we were watching the police who were helping a lady back out of their... they helped a lady back out of her car for... the car next to her was way too close. There's a lot going on right now. How about basketball? Basketball, is that one that gets on the list?
Made by the guys from freaking South Park, which was such a stupid movie, but that actually ended up being a classic.
Yeah, I think that is worth at least the mention. I don't know if we actually get it onto the list.
Call her out in the middle of everything here. Hey, Bella, what's your favorite sports movie?
Bella with the sports movie.
Bella. Come on, you gotta have one.
Stage fright is settling in, and so she's
Favorite sports
backing
movie, any
away.
sport.
By the way, Bella's been taking care of us this afternoon.
Waterboy. She chose
Waterboy. That's a great one, especially for someone from Louisiana. That is a perfect movie. Bella's been doing an amazing job taking care of us. So if you guys are hungry, get out here to Dave and Buster's and get you some great food. What you got, bud?
Also got a little White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah, definitely got to throw that in there.
That made the list here. Varsity Blues was mentioned by Lance Griffin as well. I can admit that I haven't seen that one.
Raging Bull?
Bang the Drum Slowly.
That was from Bill Horner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Drumline?
Okay, so I was just thinking
Does
about
that-
Drumline,
does
but
that
I
count?
don't think it's going to count as a sports movie for me.
I don't think
it
so
would kind
either.
of be like where basketball is, where that's not really based on a
Or
true
if you do like the
legitimate
I,
sport.
Tonya movie, like it's more of a documentary than like a sports ice skating movie, which, dude, if you haven't seen
Is that
With
is that
Margot
on
Robbie?
ESPN though? Or is it like on HBO or something like that? I
think
feel
it's
like I've
Hulu at
watched
this point, yeah.
something on her before.
what a crazy story. Like that was a conspiracy.
Yeah, no, no doubt. What you got?
So for the sake of we're the ones doing all the work, Amanda. Like we're the
Whatever.
ones putting in the groundwork. Let's get the kids' movies on there. Let's do this. Like let's go. I'm going to write them down.
Mhm.
So like Mike, right? Has got to
Yep.
go. Air Bud
Yep.
has got to go on.
Space Jam. He already wrote down Space Jam.
Yeah, I got
Space Jam.
Space Jam 1 and 2, or MJ and LeBron, or Legacy,
Plan.
New Legacy, Old Legacy.
I'm
The
gonna
game
just write
plan.
Space Jam is Space Jam 2. The game plan's got to go down.
Blades of Glory.
Oh my gosh, because I said ice skating. Blades of Glory. These Will Ferrell movies, what's he doing?
Hey, I'm not taking. Oh my gosh,
Yep, Happy Gilmore.
All right, so we've got a text from someone, I don't know exactly who it is, but he says the old Bad News Bears. So that's now 2-0
Bad News Bears.
of the old Bad News Bears.
So we gotta go
McFarland USA from Mike McMullen. I haven't heard of that one. Ryan Mathis says Heart Like a Wheel, the Dale Earnhardt movie. And he also gave semi-pro. Oh, Caddyshack. Caddyshack's got to go on there. Caddyshack's got to go on there.
Making the cut.
Corey O.H., man, it's been a while. Hope you're doing all right out there. He's got the Big Green Rookie of the Year and Blades of Glory. Again, another Blades of Glory there. And then the Greek Coming of Age. I don't know if I've heard of that one yet, so that's another good Google.
What
about the Express about Ernie Davis?
Oh, the Polar Express or whatever.
Okay, no one can hate on the Polar Express.
About the first ever Black Heisman Trophy winner, the Express. Excellent movie. I'm going to put that one down.
How have you not said Ali yet,
Ali
Mr.
with
Will Smith?
Will Smith.
Oh, now we're going to get into the...
It was a great movie.
It was a really good movie.
Creed?
So I haven't seen any of the Creed movies yet, I'll admit.
They're awesome. We got someone saying that they're awesome. So
I mean, Creed on the watch.
They got to get. What if we did a Rocky versus Creed play-in?
Yeah, because that's like the old versus new anyway.
Is that fair? Yeah. I mean, I don't think so, because Creed's going to lose more than likely, but you never know, though. I mean, who knows how many people are going to be voting, because we're going to open it up to everyone, so we'll see how it goes, man. And I think with something like this, you get a lot of, maybe it's not people who are even listening to us on a daily basis, but hey, we appreciate the vote and the and playing along with us. But we do got to take a break and get ready for hour number 2. Reminder, this is the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with Kyle Wright and the Assistant General Manager of Dave & Buster's, Amanda Muller. We're the Afternoon Underdogs, and this is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we return, it's going to be time for some Would You Rather Wednesday, and then we'll keep rolling with our Goat of Goats. Maybe next Wednesday is just going to be nothing but Goat of Goats, a little bit of headlines, and then some Would You Rather. Y'all stick with us. We're going to be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida is already your home for the most live and local sports talk. And now we're taking...
Oh, he got all of that one.
The Inside Drive. Ryan Mulvey, middays, 11 to 1 inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. The latest reactions to the biggest stories happening right now. Plus, interviews, sports betting, and your calls.
You gotta be pleased with that.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Wednesday. Light sprinkles and a chance of thunderstorms the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze out of the west-southwest around 11 miles per hour, and look for it to be 82. Tonight there will be sprinkles and a chance of thunderstorms with the temperature reaching 71. This weather is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Everyone loves gold chains. I mean, who doesn't? Gold always works. Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves features the largest selection of 14-karat gold chains, bracelets, pendants, and earrings you'll find anywhere. In fact, more than all the other stores in Bay County combined. And they're all on sale today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves. You won't find a larger selection or lower prices anywhere. Gold always works, and you can take that to the bank.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DN Mariana, WVLQ Port St. Joe, powered by Pepsi, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The 2023 Atlanta Braves are back, and with a loaded roster of young talent and some new faces in the A, it's going to be another wild season.
Riley hammers one, deep left field, bombs away!
Tonight, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna, and your Atlanta Braves roll into Globe Life Field in Arlington to take on the AL West Texas Rangers.
Coverage starts at 6, first pitch 7:05. On your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
He likes to idle his Kia while eating almonds and listening to Linkin Park in the Walgreens parking lot.
White people love trail mix.
David Hayes is part of the Afternoon Underdogs.
Oh, they love it. Love it. Eat it every day.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
They love it.
All right, welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 Panama City, 102.1 Marietta, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. And we've got Boss Man's friends in the building with us, Dr. Daytona Joel Rudman. He is a state representative for District 3. Hey, Dr. Daytona, man, so tell us a little bit about what you were telling us and what you used to do.
Yeah, how'd you get that nickname?
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It's good to be in Panama City. Yeah, I hadn't heard Dr. Daytona in probably 10 years.
Yeah,
13 years. So I did my medical training down at Halifax Medical Center in Daytona Beach. Actually on my way there now for a little reunion. And I got to work on NASCAR drivers. That was my very first paying gig, was taking care of people like Tony Stewart and Rusty Wallace. Man, it was awesome.
Who was the favorite driver that you've ever got to work on?
So, favorite driver of mine was Rusty Wallace. Good guy, just a great dude.
He seems like he'd be a good dude.
Made the NASCAR top 75, of course.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, of course, there were nurses who had been working there since the 50s, man. I mean, they'd seen these guys grow up, and so they were all huge Dale Earnhardt fans because they knew the Earnhardt family and everything. Of course, the Petty family.
That is awesome. Who's a guy that made
you squint a little bit?
Yeah, that you're like, oh, really, this guy again?
A guy who made my job difficult, and you guys could probably guess, Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart.
Everyone was thinking
because whenever there was a wreck, it was always somebody else's fault. And of course, they would bring them both in side by side. We'd have to separate those drivers, especially when Tony was involved. He'd be cussing the guy out right to his face, and it's like, okay, you go to that side of the building.
Oh my
we'll put
gosh.
this guy on this side of the building. It was a trip.
Golly, what
a cool experience.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What a really cool experience. What is it like when you having to deal with one of those big wrecks and you got 3 or 4 guys coming in? I mean, what are some of the first questions that you have to ask?
Just be sure that they know who they are, where they are, what happened, because obviously if they have a concussion or something, they're held out of the next race. Back in the old days, that used to be Rockingham,
Yeah.
So those were the days, man. I miss the old tracks. But nowadays with the cars of tomorrow, and the cars are so much safer nowadays, and then they started putting in the safer barriers, after what happened with Dale and everything. It literally got to the point, guys, where the track was so safe that we would go from seeing, like you say, 40 drivers any given day. Last time I worked there, I saw 1 driver.
Wow.
1 driver, because the cars were so safe by that point.
Yeah,
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
a good problem, yeah.
It really is.
I mean, back in the day, you'd see those wrecks, and just everyone just cringes like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, seeing one of those kinds of wrecks in person, let alone being the person that now has to have a clear, conscious mind and go to work.
Well, and we talk about concussions in all other sports, but they kind of get, I don't want to say overlooked by NASCAR, but by the fans who are sports fans, but not huge NASCAR fans. How prevalent are concussions in the sport of NASCAR?
So thankfully, with all the safety improvements they made, with the Hans devices and the safer barriers and the cars of tomorrow, thankfully we don't see a whole lot of them anymore. But back in the day, when you would see those cars barrel roll, and the cars just disintegrating in front of you, you really had to do a good job of screening those guys, be sure they're okay.
What goes into that screening process, kind of behind the scenes? Like, how fine is that line to be like, needs concussion protocol, or is concussed, or no concussion at all here?
So it's funny because when those guys come to you, remember, they're still superstars, right? And they know that. So a lot of the exam is what they'll let you get away with. You got to be sure they're okay, but I've had them before. Once you start asking them, what month is it? They get offended and they're like, this interview is over. I guess he knows where he is.
Brother.
So he is definitely aware.
Wow, man.
Purple circle.
That is really cool stuff. So, Joel, thanks so much for stopping by, man. We're gonna get back. Go ahead.
I have a question though, and this is on the politics side, because today is on Wednesdays we do Would You Rather Wednesday. So I want to obviously you'll correct me if I'm wrong, State Representative District
3 over
District
in
3,
Navarre.
Over in Navarre. Okay, so obviously a beautiful area, a very conservative area. I'm not going to try to go into that part of it,
Let's
if you
tread
will.
lightly.
I know.
I agree.
I'm just saying it's a beautiful area and it's a very good area to live in. So, like, would you rather, like, and I'm sure this is a hard question to answer, but would you rather take over in a district like that where it's already great, it's already, you know, or would you rather maybe have the opportunity to take over a district that's not so great?
You know what would you rather work at a hospital that's already smooth flowing or kind of come in?
But for a politician, like, having the opportunity to build something up, and I don't want to necessarily say be able to take the credit for it, but be able to have that under your resume.
Answer for him. Listen, if it's Hunger Games, would you rather be in charge of District 1 or District 12?
That's fair. I know that's a tough question.
I think it's a great question, and the beauty of it is, now that we're coming live from Panama City Beach, I can tell you guys that what I see when I come to Bay County, what I see, when I drive through Walton County, I would love to have that reproduced over in my county, in Santa Rosa County. So Navarre's still pretty rural. Navarre really doesn't get a lot of money thrown its way or spent in the district. So we're hoping to change that. So it's funny you asked, because from where I'm sitting, I feel like I am in one of those districts. I feel like we are overlooked compared to our neighbors to the west and our neighbors to the east. So I'm hoping to bring some love back home to Santa Rosa County and get Navarre its due. You know, they say we're Florida's best kept secret, but we don't have to be.
Perdido Key,
that's more.
And stuff. Okay.
That's kind of more what I was digging for, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, guys, I enjoyed sitting in with you guys. It's a great work y'all are doing. Love the sports talk. And getting back to the sports movies, did anybody say Mystery Alaska?
Oh, I think that we did have a comment. I think we had a comment on there.
Big time hockey fan.
Oh, who's your team?
Yeah. Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, man. So
Original six.
How did you? How were you in 2021 Tampa Bay Lightning game, Montreal? Was it tough at all?
Classic, man. Yeah, that was classic.
That was so fun to watch.
Absolutely.
And I hate it for the Lightning, but we still have the Panthers alive, right?
Yeah, we do have the Panthers,
Go Panthers
alive
Guys,
right now.
We have breaking news out of ESPN right now.
Okay.
The Diamondbacks have their second ever pitcher to kill a bird.
No way.
Diamondbacks.
Randy Johnson was the first.
Yep.
Wow. Dr. Joel, thank you so much for stopping by. That was awesome, man. Dr. Daytona, ladies and gentlemen. All right. He is the state representative for District 3 over there in Navarre. Again, we're out here, Dave and Buster's Function Room Numero Uno. For those of you who played fantasy football with us, we're in the room where we held the draft last year. It's not as big right now, but
we can condense the size, but don't worry, we'll open it back up for the draft.
I like it, man. It's this is such a great place. Dave & Buster's is. The games are one thing, and it's half price today because it's Wednesday, but the food is just absolutely amazing. Today I had the Beast Mode Bacon Burger. And Bella, you know, she's been doing a great job, and she was trying to convince me, just get the American burger and get bacon. I'm like, no, give me the bacon jam. Give me the pork belly. Give me all of that. It was so good.
What?
What?
So Diamondback's Zach Gallen accidentally killed a bird with a curveball during his pregame warm-ups.
So what's more impressive? What's more impressive? Killing something with a fastball? Let me not say killing something. Killing a bird with a fastball coming in at like 99.
Like, that
but
is
a
even
curveball,
more,
yeah, you're off speed and you're still
everybody
smoking
knows
that thing.
That image, you know, just think.
Oh,
feathers,
yeah.
Like, but wow.
I wonder which one had a bigger feather explosion.
That's
I mean,
just
for
mess
people
with
who
your
think that
psyche,
birds
though, like-
ain't real, just ask Randy Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they ever found the bird's body.
Oh, goodness.
It's crazy, man. I'm going to try to find this video to watch it, but when I saw that come up.
warm-ups, there might not be a good video.
No, that's so okay. Johnson Lee infamously killed a bird in 2001 during a spring training game. I didn't even know that was a spring training game until just now.
Yeah.
Okay, Zach Gallen got. Okay, we'll find it eventually. This is probably not the time to be doing this because we've got 40 movies on this list, by the way.
And we're doing Would You Rather right here.
And we're doing. Oh, you're right.
Quick
Sorry,
Braves
Dave,
update brought to you by the Break Room. Braves last night fall to the Rangers 7-4. You had a good outing for Jared Schuster, who went, I believe, 5 innings, but did not get the W tonight. Braves Rangers right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Coverage starting at 6. First pitch tonight at 7:05. Spencer Strider on the bump for the Braves. Going going up against a resurgent Nathan Eovaldi, who's 5-2 with an ERA of 2.70. I'm not going to say it, but you guys know I'm thinking it. This should be a really good pitching matchup tonight. We'll see what we get out of it. All right, a little would you rather here, and then we can jump back in to our movies here, our sports movies, and ranking those for the GOAT of GOATs. Again, thank you guys for all your comments and your text messages. 850-215-6290 is the number to text. Would you rather, in fact, we can get to these at another time. Let's go, would you rather Christian McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley? Ryan Mulvey asked me this on the Inside Drive Monday afternoon.
For me, this is so easy. Christian McCaffrey has proven it time and time and time again. And he's had some injury issues, but none of them have been like super, like, long, if you will, like super long periods of time that he's missed, except for I think he did have the one. But Christian McCaffrey has been an absolute dog. He's been a top 5 pick in fantasy football like every year since he's been established himself in the league, and he's going to be this year again. So give me C-Mac.
I would have taken Saquon if Christian was still on the Panthers, but because he's not on the Panthers, I'll take McCaffrey. He has been a top 5 pick, but stuck on the Panthers, everybody that picked Christian McCaffrey every year was like, what are we doing? Like, you couldn't get out of that hole. So I'll take McCaffrey, but only because he's changed teams.
Yeah, I like that. I like Christian McCaffrey all the way around. Caveman Rick said CMC as well. Saquon Barkley does not get enough, or maybe he does, but I don't think that he got enough credit last year for how Brian Daboll and the Giants did, and especially Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones definitely needs a lot of that credit, but I don't think that they get nearly as successful, or they were nearly as successful without Saquon Barkley being able to provide a great running game for him. But I still like Christian McCaffrey. Let's go. Would you rather live a week in the past or the future?
Oh, man.
Do I get to choose the past?
You get to choose the past or the future.
I get to pick the week?
You can pick the hour.
Okay. Because I'm just saying, man, like, obviously, no regrets kind of situation, but there's a lot.
How are you spelling regrets there?
Regrets. There's a lot that I would like to change, but yeah, I would. I think I would go back to, and I'll just even be specific. I'll go back to the week where FSU won the national championship, and just all the build up to that, and how Auburn was going to stomp them because of the distractions on Jameis, and I just want to relive that again. It was awesome.
What about for you?
Yeah, so I'm going a totally different approach. I am going all the way back, and I'm going to watch one of these pirates bury their treasure, and I'm going to wait, and I'm coming back here and going, hey, there it is.
Yeah.
Right there.
I think that...
Granted, I was watching a Netflix documentary last night with Nick, and it was a treasure hunting thing.
Yeah.
So I would just go back to that week and just watch.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's a great answer. For me, it would be the past as well. I mean, maybe if we were from like the 70s or so, I would be more interested in the future. But being that we live in the future right now as it is, I don't really care to see how much more futuristic we can really get.
Maybe go live in the week of like the Reds' next World Series appearance and see just how far.
Yeah, like I could do that. The
How
next
fast are
Cubs World Series appearance. How far ahead?
Well, then you're going to be in like 2100 at that point in time.
Like, should I even like keep investing myself into this team when I come back? Is what.
That's a really good point. I would go back in the past as well. I've always liked, and I know that, man, especially people, myself, who's grown up in this era of time, to sit there and say like the colonial times, like I'm just asking for trouble at that point. But being back when dinosaurs were around would be really cool. The colonial times, and I think that would be, I mean, dude, could you imagine being here when Jesus walked the earth, though? That would be something else.
Yeah, I'm still going for treasure.
Oh, yeah. Well, everyone's got their own treasure.
What if Jesus had treasure, dog? You don't know?
Hey,
listen, I'm going for the pirate treasure. Do what you want with Jesus treasure, okay? I'm taking pirate treasure.
Watch college football spring game or USFL or an XFL game.
Watch what now? Watch
a college football spring game or watch a regular season USFL or XFL game.
Spring game.
As somebody who just went to a spring game, and obviously this is come on, you yelled at me for that. Like a verbal yell, like a audible yell or non-audible yell.
And you're doing the same to me, so we're even now.
So I think I would rather go to a USFL game, and maybe this is just because of the way Florida State structures their spring game. They had a major injury a couple years ago and won, and ever since, like everything's been a little bit different. I've never been to a USFL, XFL game. I think like the beer snake thing would be really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm in.
I'm still doing a college spring game just because I have done the Wisconsin spring games, and it's an experience.
Yeah. For me, I think I would rather go to a USFL game because I feel like they need people more than any of these other 3 leagues right now.
USFL.
But at the end of the day, they've got the TV contract, so we'll see how all of that rolls out. But I've actually been to the Florida State spring game before, and I was a little bit younger, but it was one of those things like, this ain't football. Like, I know that you're going there for the pageantry and all the things that are going on. It's kind of like a festival type deal. But at the end of the day, for me, like, even at that age, I want to watch a game, not a
scrimmage. And the way, like, it's so, I don't like music playing during the game. Like, and just
so you would hate going to a live tour.
Well, that's a little bit different, like, because that's the thing, right?
You're right.
Like, what you go to if I'm sitting in Doak Campbell Stadium watching Florida State play football, I'm trying to get on my feet, get hyped, like, take my shirt off, make the people next to me uncomfortable. Like, I'm trying to go, like, that's my whole niche.
Would you rather have Bryce Harper or Mike Trout's career?
Bryce Harper. MVP, World Series champion.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Wait, World Series champion?
He won it with the Nationals, didn't he?
I don't think the Nationals won it
the year after he left.
Yes, which is the best part of that whole situation.
But either way,
he's been there.
Been to a World Series.
He's been there. He's had deep playoff runs.
Right.
And you talk about the expectations, because I don't think Trout ever had the expectations going into the league, or at least I don't remember, Mike Trout being the next greatest thing. But Bryce Harper, you heard about him when he was in 9th grade, 8th grade. So for me, I think that I'd have to agree. I'd rather have Bryce Harper's career. But if Mike Trout gets one, it'll be pretty interesting. I think Caveman Rick says Bryce Harper. I think that's safe to say because he plays for the Philadelphia Phillies. But
if he was still a National, he's definitely picking Mike Trout.
Right. But look at us right now. We're both sitting here talking about Bryce Harper's career over Mike Trout's, which is where I think that you can go 3 or 4 years back before Bryce Harper got to kind of the level that he's at, even though he was already a stud. And I think that you could realistically still have people taking Trout at that point in time, or you would have more people taking Trout than you would have Bryce Harper.
I think,
Thank you, Bella.
If Mike Trout has stayed healthy, then Mike Trout's obviously got more of a case here. But Bryce Harper, like when we were talking about it off the air earlier, we were talking about LeBron and like how he had the hype coming in compared to Wembanyama. And like LeBron has not only lived up to the hype but exceeded it. We were trying to find athletes that have even just lived up to the hype, and the list started and stopped at Bryce Harper after that.
Yeah, I mean, you had Zion Williamson, but not even close to living up to the hype. I mean, it's not even close at all.
His knees definitely living up to the hype.
Trying to think. I mean, in baseball right now, because you've Ronald Acuna Jr. is kind of living up there in his hype. You've had Fernando Tatis Jr. I think it's safe to say that he lives up to the hype, but he hasn't come close to exceeding it. And who knows what would have happened had he never gotten into the motorcycle wreck and then the whole Klobestol situation with getting suspended for 80 or 82 games. So there is that. Brian Kelly or Dabo Swinney.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. This one's super easy. This is Dabo Swinney again.
Oh, really?
Well, Brian Kelly's the best thing Brian Kelly's ever done is go 9-4 and beat Alabama.
Okay,
that's the best thing the dude's ever done in his career.
Alabama ranks pretty up there.
Yeah, but to beat Alabama in what would be considered a down year for Alabama.
A down year for Alabama is a good year for most other people.
I get it. But they had 2 losses. They beat them at home. It was and they're probably going to get smoked next year when they go back to Tuscaloosa. Brian Kelly, 9-4, that's not that good. You lost to Florida State too, by the way, which I guess is viewed as a good loss now, but still.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
He got out and he got embarrassed by Texas A&M, got run off the field by Georgia. It wasn't even fun. It wasn't even competitive.
Man, I was really thinking that you would have went with Brian Kelly there, maybe just for the the Clemson Florida State rivalry there. But you do bring
2-time national championship.
Yeah,
2 Heisman
no doubt.
Trophy winners.
No doubt. So I mean, that's a great argument for Dabo right there. And Brian Kelly's had the opportunity with Notre Dame, and that to me was the drawback, right? Look at the school that he's coaching there in Notre Dame. That could be why he doesn't have what he could have had, and we'll see how it plays out here with LSU. But again, 9-4 looked good for them last year. Why? because there were no expectations. There was not a great roster in place. No one expected that, or at least an 8-4 regular season would have been great, or even 7-5. I think you get away with it year one. LSU.
I guess they finished 10-4 but sorry. Their 10th win was the bowl game.
Oh, bowl game. Okay, so the 13th game was the SEC loss. But you go year 3. If Brian Kelly's sitting there year 3 and the best season that he's had is 9-3 regular season only, the leash isn't going to be that long. And so I wanted someone to take Brian Kelly there, but the Miles Easy answer, we need to get Miles to spend some money with us and sponsor that. The Miles Easy answer, like the easy button from Staples back in the day. Yeah, Dabo Swinney is the right answer. We've got to run to a break, y'all. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We're out here at Dave & Buster's. We still got happy hour until 7 p.m. The show's running until 6 p.m., and we're having a great time. Half-price games here all day long on Wednesday. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Well, there's just something to be said, and I don't think that it gets enough focus on homegrown teams. And you bring up the Celtics, and they, because of Garnett and Paul Pierce being traded to the Brooklyn Nets, that's when they started getting all of these pieces, and then they draft Tatum, and then they draft Jaylen Brown, and those two guys.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Wednesday's weather forecast. A mixture of some clouds and a chance of thunderstorms tonight with a low near 71 and a wind between 1 to 5 miles per hour. A possibility of thunderstorms and slight fog tomorrow morning and a temperature of 81. Slightly hotter in the afternoon and evening around 82 with a likelihood of thunderstorms and some sun. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
The road is yours this summer in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Stop by and check out the Bill Bird Kia SUV family that is built for all in adventures and endless possibilities. Whether you're traveling on the highways or off-road, you'll do it with grace and grit. Now offering 3.25% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort and safety and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind that you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance for the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento with $22.22 per month per 1,000 finance at 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 7/5/23.
On the run, caught. Time to let the big dogs eat.
How about that answer by Georgia? To the end zone, touchdown, Georgia.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back out here, Dave and Buster's, for another segment. I guess we're going to be getting back to the Go-to-Goats.
Yes, we have to. These movies are killing me.
All right. We'll be right back out here next Wednesday. Y'all have a great night. I'm just joking. Atlanta Braves tonight, 6 o'clock for the coverage time, 7:05 for the first pitch. Spencer Strider going for the Braves, going up against Nathan Eovaldi. ESPN Northwest Florida also presents the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report. The Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Report with Tim Braddock live every Friday at 4:20 p.m. Call in with your fishing stories and questions. 850-215-6290. All right, let's get back into it. I don't know where in the world we were. You're up to 25 right now.
No, I'm up to 40. I took a whole new. No, that's movies. I just had to start a whole new list here, and just write them all instead of putting them numbering. I'm trying to limit it to 32.
Right. So, can we include cars? Did we include that? It's a sports movie.
Life is a highway.
Life is a highway, and because you're awesome, Amanda, that is the only reason. It is about racing somewhat.
So is Turbo, another great movie about racing.
What is that?
Dude,
Ryan
Turbo
Reynolds,
is
a tiny little snail that races.
Oh, okay. But what?
White Shadow, yeah.
I love that.
I'm out of there. I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. But so we're not going to have Turbo on there, right? Can
Fine. You
I'll put Cars.
You've seen it in your...
Well, yeah, I know that, but we're also talking about, you know, it's an animal racing, right?
Yeah.
Peter wouldn't like
an animated snail.
Peter wouldn't like that.
That's fair.
That's true. All right.
Like,
So
they really like tortured that
you're getting
snail.
cars, though. You're getting cars, Amanda.
Give me Cars.
Ka-chinga, ka-chinga.
Ka-chow.
My favorite character from that movie was Mater.
Oh, easily.
Tow Mater.
Easily.
Little
All right.
tractors.
Let's keep it rolling. Also, man, Justin Lassiter's over here just blowing it up on our Facebook statuses about what sports video games, and he's coming in with the console and everything like NFL Blitz, PlayStation 1. We've got so many movies over here that are just movies that we need to watch. So you're up to number what? Oh, you don't even got numbers.
I don't have numbers on them, but we're at 41 movies here.
41 movies. Again, 850-215-6290. Trouble with the Curve from Barrett Townsend. I'm checking Facebook here as well. He said, K. Frederick says this list is getting very ridiculous. Look, I'm trying. We haven't come up with the rankings yet. This is just a wide open list right now.
Right,
So
we're just putting up for debate movies like Turbo that don't get to make it on the list.
So
we're at 49. I'm sorry.
We're at 49.
So if we get 15 more, we'll have a 64 movie bracket.
Oh my goodness.
Turbo.
Turbo.
Turbo can go up against Cars. It's an animated racing
All right, Turbo
movie.
against Cars for a play-in game. Go ahead.
There you go.
Turbo. Put it in. We'll do carrots versus celery next for what do you prefer with your wings?
Hey,
carrots. What were the Okay, so he named one when he was here, Mystery Alaska. So that I didn't write that down. So that's going to give us 50 right there.
And then we just need we've got McFarland, the best cross-country movie ever. That's from Coach Olds, who also told me earlier that Chipley is going to be playing Lafayette tomorrow at 3. So let's go Tigers, get the job done. And we'll be checking on the Arnold Wakulla score here in the break to see how they're doing, or if they've gotten to play, because I know that their game I believe they were supposed to play last night and they were postponed. Yeah, they played tonight at 7, so we won't have a true update on that. But let's go Marlins. 850-215-6290 is the number to call. What about Over the Top for arm wrestling? I don't think I've ever seen Over the Top for arm wrestling. No.
What about The Wrestler with Miss Mickey Rourke?
Rourke?
Yeah, that's a decent movie. I mean, it's not really that good though. I guess, nah. I can't go.
I mean, I don't really care which direction we go. I just want to make sure that we get
64.
That we don't miss anything that needs to be in there, like Caddyshack.
Did you have a list? Like, is there a list online where we can make sure?
That's what I'm on right now.
There's Disney's The Greatest Game Ever Played. Coach Carter, I think we have Invictus, which I did not see.
I don't know what an Invictus is.
Yeah, don't know about
Morgan
Invictus.
Freeman movie, so it's on my watch list.
If none of us have heard of it, it's probably not that good.
Hey, I'm reading.
So no, I don't mean that as a slight. I just mean
$1 Million Arm I have not seen.
Oh, Bang the Drum Slowly.
I mentioned
the
that
one. Yeah,
earlier.
you mentioned that one. But yeah, that's actually it's in this on this list on Vulture.com at 46. That's a 1973 movie. Did Goon get on the list?
Goon?
Yeah, it's a hockey movie with Sean William Scott.
It did not.
Ford versus Ferrari is also on this list, which I did not see. Heard it was good.
What about can a recent movie, Yankee Johnny Seed or Johnny Yankee Seed, whatever it is that we're calling him these days? He brought up Air, the new movie about the Air Jordan shoe, but I don't know if we can put a movie on that not everyone has already seen. You know what I mean? Like we're utilizing classic movies right now, or have been classic at one point in time. So I don't know if Air, a new movie, can.
I haven't seen
qualified.
Plus, like,
what about King Richard with Will Smith? Have you seen that one?
King Richard's got to go on the list.
You know, if it's a Will Smith movie, he's just going to start writing.
Yeah.
No, because
Tanya's on the list.
That's
too.
an Oscar-winning movie.
I'm saying the Ladybugs should be on the list. Rodney Dangerfield, Ladybugs.
All right, we'll check it out. Is that another soccer movie?
Yeah, okay, so he's coaching a girls' soccer team, and just watch it.
Just watch it.
I wish that if TV shows were allowed on here, you would put like Ted Lasso, because that show is just incredible.
My dad also, when I asked, he said in the first season of Ted Lasso, I was like, that is not a movie.
That is not a movie, but it is great. Did Happy Gilmore ever get on this daggum list?
Yeah, Happy Gilmore is on my list.
Just making sure.
I'm going to double check, but I'm 99% sure I wrote it down.
Bad News Bears.
That's been on
It's
here.
on the list.
Oh,
All right.
That's probably gonna end up being a play in.
Yeah, no,
New
100%.
versus old.
You got Tin Cup. I don't know if that's made it on there. Hoosiers is up there. Love and Basketball. I mean, it's not a bad movie, that's for sure, but it's just not.
Omar Epps.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I would say no on that one, but it definitely is one of the greatest sports movies of all time, but I don't think it's in the top 50 for me anyways. Oh, Murder Ball, never heard of that, but it sounds very interesting. So I guess that's going to have to be one that we'll see about, but I don't think that it's going to make it on the list. We've got Field of Dreams. We've got Million Dollar Baby.
That's
Million
a
Dollar Baby.
good movie.
All right. Let's see. League of Their Own. We've got that one on there. Ali. You got that. The Wrestler is the top 10 on this particular list. So we'll have to go with that. Pride of the Yankees from 1942. Speaking of that, not the year 1942, but it's 42 on here, the Jackie Robinson movie.
Yes, we did have that one down.
Gotta have that one on there. Let's see what else. We've got Bull Durham's number 4, Rocky's number 3, Raging Bull is the number 2 movie on this particular list. That's a boxing movie, so we'll see about that. And then Hoop Dreams is the number 1 movie on this, and I don't think I've ever seen that, and this is from 1994. So I think that'll pretty much wrap us up for movies, right? At least the movies that we're going to have on the list, and now the whole point, the whole job is going to be creating a spreadsheet and getting this list itemized.
I'm at 56.
You're at 56?
I'm at 56. Now, you could come into the things here where maybe we can split the longest yards instead of making them play in. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to get 8 more on this list. That I didn't write Raging Bull down, so that's going to put.
He Got Game?
He Got Game? I don't know if I've seen that.
Invictus is about rugby, according to Caveman Rick, so that could definitely be one that that gets onto the list. But someone else said, Rice Chris, I believe, says, just go ahead. No, Caveman Rick says, and just go ahead and put Herbie on the list.
Herbie. I love that.
I mean, let's put She's the Man down, you know?
All right, there you go, man.
And if we get that crazy, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
He played ping pong. He ran. He played football.
Oh, I think that what we can do now here is take a little break from the movie side of things and then get as many of the video games as we can lined up here, because we've got a lot to go. Or we could just take a break from Goat of Goats and come back at it next week. How are you feeling about it? What say you, Amanda?
I mean, I can do either. The games, I don't have my sheet with me from last week where I wrote them all down.
Yeah, it's
I'm going to have to come from my top of my brain again. So it's okay.
It's at the office.
Some of the comments from my post on the games today.
Yeah, we could do that, man. While you're looking those up, Colt Keith, the double-layer from the Erie Sea Wolves, hit for the cycle last night. He had 6 hits, 2 home runs, and that's never been done before. Colt Keith hitting for the cycle with 6 hits and 2 of those home runs, one of those being a single, and that had never been done. In fact, he hit the first 2 of his home runs he hit 2 of his home runs in the first 4 innings, had the cycle completed by the 7th inning, and just added the single in the 8th for extra measure. I know it's double-A, but that's pretty daggum awesome to do that. Caveman Rick says, do it next week. You guys are exhausted. Well, exit the chat, big guy. That's cool with me. We have to get this done. We've got a timeline, and we only have so long to be able to do it.
I don't know if I wrote down Rookie of the Year.
We're going to get into the video games, I believe, next week, though, because we only got seven more minutes left in this segment. And I did want to get some more takes on this series. So we'll start with Amanda here. Nuggets or Lakers, who would you rather see win that?
The Nuggets, only because I like chicken nuggets, and that's what I'm going with. I mean, I could do a whole segment on where we get the best nuggets.
All right. Kyle, Nuggets or Lakers, who do you want to win? Who would you rather win?
I mean, for me, it's obvious for multiple reasons. LeBron, obviously, in my opinion, is always going to be the GOAT. That's number 1. Number 2, there's French fries on the ground now. Number 2, I think we're on the Jimmy Butler revenge tour, if you will.
It does sound fun.
It does, right? So, like, the first round was against the Milwaukee Bucks, who swept them out of the playoffs a couple years ago. Next round was against the Knicks, who excuse me, told Jimmy Butler that he wasn't worth the $20 million he was asking for, and then of course started with the play-in against the Bulls as well. And then now it's the Celtics who knocked them out of the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and then it would be just poetic to be able to beat the Lakers, who beat him in his only finals appearance. So, and just of course, I don't know, man. I just think Lakers Heat would be really fun, or even Lakers Celtics, just for sort of storylines.
Lakers Celtics for the storylines, or the vintage storylines, if you will. The Nuggets and the Heat would be fun for me as well, because it's one of those series that you think no one wants to see it. Well, I want to see it. Give me that. Give me one of the most fun players for me to watch in the NBA, which is Jimmy Butler, just because of how he does it on both sides. And then give me a guy who's kind of I don't want to say he's forgotten, because he's not, but no one actually knows how good Nikola Jokic actually is, especially when you sit there and watch. The Nuggets get overlooked all the time, but when he's in a series with the Lakers, like Colin Cowherd was saying, you watch, you see more of him. It was either Cowherd or Dan Patrick that was saying that. And so in that case, I want to see the Nuggets move on. I mean, it would be great for LeBron and his legacy, but I think that the Nuggets are the better team, and I want to see them move on. In the East, I want it to be the Celtics. I'd like to see Nuggets Celtics, just because of the whole running argument that we're having with Adam Goff, who won't admit to Jason Tatum being a superstar. So then that leads me to the next question, Kyle. Would you rather Jason Tatum, and this is a tough one for you, but Jason Tatum or Jimmy Butler? You're starting a new team. Which guy do you want?
Well, that's tough, man, because, obviously Tatum's a lot younger as well. I mean, just on selfishness, I would have to obviously take Jimmy Butler, just because when players can turn it on in the playoffs, that's when it really matters.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler was not an all-star this year. I think he had some injuries that maybe kind of held him out of that game, but he he's turned it on now, and this is when it matters. You don't get the tagline playoff Jimmy for no reason. This is when it matters. And Jason Tatum, perhaps his biggest downfall is he maybe disappears in the big moments, in the big games. Obviously that Game 7 performance was incredible, but let's see, now you're in the finals again. You're in the conference finals again. Or, last year against Golden State, did he even play? I don't know, because he didn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I would have to go. I would like to build it around Jason Tatum, but my thing is when it all falls down, can you put it on Jason Tatum's shoulders? Whereas Jimmy Butler, the only way he's going to give up on you if he feels like the rest of the team's not giving 110%.
Did you read the story about him coming to practice with the Timberwolves thing cut out?
Yeah.
He cut the logo out of his chest and out of his shorts. So he had a big hole in his shirt.
And then played with G Leaguers against the number ones and still came away with the win, and then didn't get the money and got shipped out of Minnesota at that point in time. And so that's why, you talk about a guy who's got that dog in him. I'm not saying Jason Tatum don't got that dog in him, but does he seem as aggressive as what Jimmy Butler does? Both are guys that you see play around a lot, but at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler, when it comes down to business, I would rather have him. But Jason Tatum is another one of those guys, especially with youth kind of on his side there, that you can't go wrong in that direction either. For Kyle Albritton is Ben Simmons. He said he'd rather just have Ben Simmons as one of his favorite players of all time. Do you agree with that, Amanda?
The GOAT?
No.
If anybody can challenge LeBron right now, it's
Ben Simmons with a great back. I do wish we had more time to get back into the video games right now, but we just don't. We'll try to get back into that in the next segment, because I think we'll have a little bit of time there. But the Dallas Stars or the Vegas Golden Knights, who would you rather see win that series?
The Vegas Golden Knights.
All right. I like that pick.
I think Vegas as well.
Vegas needs it as the city. They need it. I want to see their celebration. I want to see Vegas.
Could you imagine that?
That's what I'm saying. I think that city, after everything with how crazy COVID was for that entire area, they need a win.
Yeah, that's a good point. For me, I'm going to go with Vegas as well. Only because, and I don't know what it is, I just don't like the Stars that much. I think it was
Dallas. It's Stars are the Cowboys of hockey.
Hey, one thing that Dallas does really cool is when they're doing the national anthem at the house. Whenever they get to the beginning of the national anthem, they all say Stars at the same time, and that is anytime that you can get the whole crowd involved with the national anthem. I think those are some of the best national anthems. For me, I'm going with the Vegas Golden Knights here.
I say Vegas as well, but, a little love for Dallas because they started the run for the Lightning. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. And then on the eastern side of things, would you rather see the Panthers or the Hurricanes get it done?
I can't.
Panthers.
I can't watch little brother do better than me, so give me the Canes.
You can't. It's still the family.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Florida, you gotta.
He's on this one's very tough. Yes, I am very much.
I don't like
so
Carolina either.
On
though.
the fence, I don't like Carolina a ton. I don't like Florida, but if it comes down to one, I just have to use the old school answer in this one. And where do I live? So I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers to get her done. And I think it would be cool for 3 out of the last 4 Cups to be in the state of Florida. Even Carolina, it doesn't matter which team wins, though. They're still in a warm weathered state. So you can go Dallas, you can go Vegas, you can go Carolina, or you can go Florida, and the Cup's going to be nice and warm and toasty all year long. That is what Lord Stanley got a taste of Tampa, and he was like, you know what, boys, don't send me back. Then he goes to Colorado for a year. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, local high school sports spotlight when we get back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
You see a lot of athletes do that too, which is awesome. They go back, they finish their college, they get going in the NFL or any other professional sport, and they go back and finish their degree because, let's face it, that's why, quote unquote, they're at college is to get a degree. Obviously, winning national championships probably trumps that for a lot of people.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Wednesday's weather forecast. A mixture of some clouds and a chance of thunderstorms tonight with a low near 71 and a wind between 1 to 5 miles per hour. A possibility of thunderstorms and slight fog tomorrow morning and a temperature of 81. Slightly hotter in the afternoon and evening around 82 with a likelihood of thunderstorms and some sun. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
By now, you've heard us talking about Tiger TV Pro. Hi, David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs, here to remind you about this incredible streaming service with over 6,000 premium channels. And the cost, you ask? $15 a month. Yes, only $15 a month. Every sports channel is available, including the ACC and SEC network, the NFL, NBA, MLB, HBO, Showtime, and thousands more. For more info, go to our website at espnpc.com. Scroll down and click the Tiger logo.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullets, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
You're riding shotgun with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to need some gas money. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Fill her up, please.
At 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Final segment of the afternoon here on the Afternoon Underdogs. We're out here at Dave and Buster's. We're in function room number 1. It's been call it the dysfunction. The dysfunction room. Yeah, it's awesome. Really like the vibe out here. It's cool being in the function rooms as well. I like being outside a little bit better, but also being in the function room reminds me of the fantasy draft, and it also reminds me even more so that we're not that far away from our fantasy draft. And this year I'm going to be dressed up like a preacher and having everyone who makes their picks come up and give me a hug. I'll be little Goodell for the day. It's going to be awesome, man. And I say that because you got the podium over here and everything. Yeah, bring the chime in and everything. If we had the hotkeys turned up back at the station, I could play that draft chime real quick.
We can do whatever we need.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's not going to do me any good because I would have to have the hotkeys on the board at the station to play this, because we did a little fantasy draft, or a mock draft rather, right ahead of the NFL draft, and so we had that sound bite, and every time we would make a pick for the first little bit, we would play the draft chime.
Fantasy drafts, like, it's an event.
Yep.
Not only when you do it at Dave & Buster's, which absolutely anybody can. Once we have that information, I'll share with you guys on the air. But even if you don't have your draft here, like having your draft for me has always been an event. I think because we have a Dave & Buster's league, of course. For the past 5 years, I'm never just sitting at home drafting. Like we're all at the bar, we're all somewhere where we can. Not everyone can make it, but yeah, it's. I can't wait.
That's the best way to do drafts. And we, kind of all got knocked off course from 2020 for the most part. I think I still had one live draft there, but it's way more fun getting back into that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my league back on track with that as well. We had drafted together for about 5 years in a row, and then COVID happened, and we just got off track, and we still haven't done it again. So I'm trying to get that back on track this year. My league's a lot of fun.
This local segment is brought to you by Barbaritos. Food community people, visit Barbaritos on 23rd Street and tell them that the Underdogs sent you. The Chipley Tigers took down Newberry today with a score of 1-0 in 8 innings. And Lafayette barely takes down Holmes County 9-6, so it's going to be Chipley versus Lafayette, and that is going to be tomorrow at 3 o'clock. All the best of luck to both schools here, but would love to see Chipley and the Tigers come away with the victory tomorrow afternoon. Can't wait for that. Let's see, what else do we got today? Arnold and Wakulla, that game is going to be tonight at 7 p.m., so let's go Marlins. Hopefully you guys can get it done. Looking at some of the NFL over-unders from last week, or the schedule came out last week, so we have it in its entirety now. Looking at the Miami Dolphins, and they are sitting at, where is it?
The second hardest schedule, if that's what you're looking at.
Well, no, I'm looking at the over-under. I wanted to get your take on the Dolphins, who are sitting at 9.5. So over 9.5, they're a plus 110 to go under. They're actually more favored to go under 9.5. So what do you like in there when it comes to the over-under?
I'm going to try to pull up our schedule in just a second here, so do something to burn some time that way.
We'll talk about mine.
It's really about, go ahead, because it's really about the way the Dolphins schedule starts.
I'm already liking mine because the over-under is 7.5. So they're already predicting me to do twice as good as last year, and I'm here for it.
Do you think that you'll actually be better?
I do. I think it's going to be over 7.5, but not by much. I'm giving us 9 wins.
So Miami's
9.
9 of them?
9.
That's 9 and 8. The Bears are not going 9 and 8.
Yes, they are.
All right.
I want you to write it down. Everybody, remember this moment.
Hey, we're going to put it in the bold prediction book. 9 and 8.
Bold move,
prediction book. So,
are you speaking German over there? What did you just say?
Bold move, dodgeball, man.
She said 9.
Yeah,
speaking of which, the Dolphins played the Chiefs in Germany.
That's going to be so much fun.
Chiefs fans are PO'd, by the way, because that was supposed to be Tyreek's homecoming. That was his first game back in Arrowhead.
Oh, and y'all are playing that where?
It's in Frankfurt, Germany.
Oh, that is terrible.
Yeah.
Why did the NFL do that? And why did they give, and no offense or anything, but they've been giving, London just kind of scrap games or whatever, and then it's all of a sudden here, first year for Germany, let's give you the best.
So, at the end of the day, the NFL's a business, and Goodell has clearly made some big money plans. Because, when you do see the teams play in London, everyone just shows up wearing their team's jersey, and they're like, yes, we're here for this.
Yeah.
And I love it for them. But as a football fan here, I'm like, quit taking my, that's mine. That's mine. Give it back.
So the Dolphins' schedule is really tough, man. Just 3 of the first 4 games are on the road, and those are in L.A. against the Chargers, at New England, and then at Buffalo. Week 3, they're home for Denver, so they get a nice little reprieve there. But
still, they're going to try and mess with your time.
Right. That's a rough start to the season, and then they go at Philly, and then 2 weeks later they're in Germany against Kansas City, and then on the other side of the bye week they've got to play the Jets 2 out of 4 weeks, and we know they're the first Black Friday game, so they're only going to get a 4-day off stretch from Sunday to Friday, or 5 days.
This is one of those things too that I want to point out for people that don't think about it. I used to travel a lot for work, and if you're in Miami and you're having to fly to LA. The amount of time, yes, it doesn't matter when you're younger, but when you're a little older, even you're touching your 30s, that time change, that 5-hour difference means something. To then ship you back over to Buffalo, and then you're going overseas, their equilibrium, that's That's tough.
And I'm telling you, it's a tough start because they fly to L.A. and then they fly all the way to Boston.
That's what I'm saying,
there.
yeah.
It's
how long does it take?
5.5 hours from Atlanta.
Well, no. I'm saying about how long does it take you to kind of get acclimated, because normally they're there for only like 3 to 4 days at max.
Takes 2.5 to 3 days for your body to just be like, okay, we're in this rhythm now because the sun's setting and everything.
So as soon as you get used to it or get acclimated to it, you're out of
there. That's what I'm saying. So like, not only a tough schedule team-wise, like traveling, and I don't think people take that into account. This traveling is tough on some of these players.
Oh, yeah. Also, I hate...
Coaching.
Like, another thing I hate about the Dolphins' schedule this year is that they took away what I thought was fun about the Dolphins and Bills building their rivalry. The Bills would come to Miami early in the year, and they would burn, like, half to death, pretty much, because we put them on the other side.
Yeah.
But then we would have to go play in the snow in, like, November, December.
And luckily, your quarterback has played in snow before in Tuscaloosa.
weather matters.
His best start of the season, to be honest, which was crazy. But now it's week 4, we go to Buffalo, which is October 1st, and then they come to Miami in week 18.
That's backwards.
Which it's terrible. I hate that they switched that.
It does, but it's also, I would say that that's more beneficial for the Dolphins overall, because it's still kind of warm here, and they've been playing in week 18. It's still kind of warm, and they've been in very cold weather. So you would think it's kind of that thaw out process, and maybe it will be, but I would say that that's still more beneficial for the Dolphins. I mean, we see it year in and year out. Teams in the beginning of the year and late in the year, when they're on the sidelines there in Miami, they're burning up. I mean, the sun shines over there.
They built that thing on purpose. It was great.
Yeah, very strategic there.
I've got one date scheduled on this calendar. That Monday Night Football matchup, Will Levis versus Mike White.
Ooh, yeah.
It's going to be nasty.
I was intrigued. At first, I really wasn't happy when I saw the Bears' schedule.
Bears got
we played the Packers the first game and the last game.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, man.
It's a long gap.
Right, like that.
But it is one of the beauties of it is y'all get the first look at the Packers in a regular season game without Aaron Rodgers, and then you can put the exclamation point on your 4 or 5 win season with the Packers at the end of the year.
Listen,
it ain't gonna be the 9th win, I'll tell you that much.
We're doing a division breakdown eventually.
Oh yeah, July 12th actually.
The Lions, I have to see what they look like, so I'm glad I don't play them first. Like, I'm okay playing the Packers first. I just wish it wasn't first and last. Like,
that's a long gap.
Right?
I hear that, man. For the Titans,
dude, that
it's an easy schedule.
Was the greatest thing.
Golly, that's still.
I've shown so many people, but actually, you and I were texting about it afterwards, and I was talking to Nick. I think it was the next day, because Nick and I were watching it, and we're just dying laughing. Have you seen what I'm talking about?
The one where they ask the fans about who they're playing, and they show the logo.
Just the logo. People in Nashville are like Chester Cheeto for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
But I was like, that would be me if you showed me XFL logos.
Oh, yeah.
So we would turn on a USFL game, and I'm like, that's definitely the Minnesota Otters.
Yeah.
Like, because I have no clue.
None. Don't do any studying, so it'll be a surprise pop quiz one of these days, but I'll get all of the logos and just show them to you without any names, and I would still be quizzed on that because I don't know every single one of them.
XFL, NFL, or even soccer, like, doesn't matter, but like,
you get into soccer, we come up with some funny ones.
Because I'm a football fan, and you get this dude in Nashville who's just like, well, that's just the football logo, and it's the Cleveland Browns, the
football team, or the Lightning McQueens.
Yeah.
The Lightning McQueen.
They put up the Chargers helmet, Lightning McQueen, and
then they play the
so
Fox
the like versus Lightning McQueen. It was so great.
I just wonder.
That would be me.
I just hope that it took them a while to make that video. That's the only thing I can.
And again, like, I think we were talking about it too. That I was like, well, at least they all knew the Titans. She's like, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. They all knew the Titans logo.
Oh, goodness. We'll have to see how that plays out. For the Titans, though, they're looking at 7.5, and they're actually favored to go over 7.5 at -105, and then for the under there, it's a +105. I got them sitting at 8 and 9, 9 and 8, but that's good. Things have to happen. You got to have some great play from your offensive line. You're going to have to see Ryan Tannehill healthy for at least 14 games, and if it's not that, you could very well see the Titans go 0-4 to start the season this year, and what happens then? From the fans, you're hearing Will Levis, and that is just. I think that for Will Levis to be successful, he needs to be able to sit behind Tannehill for a year. So for me, I am going to say over. But that's a hopeful over, not a I guarantee you we're going over. I'm not sitting over here like talking like the Chicago Bears are going to have 9 wins or something.
Right. So the good thing is, Jacksonville, who knows what they're going to bring out, right? Like, are they going to continue getting better like they did at the end of last year, or are they going to get faced with a little reality check coming in? I like to think they're going to be better just because, you get Calvin Ridley. I thought they drafted well. But you're going to have 2 rookie quarterbacks starting in the division elsewhere with Anthony Richardson with the Colts, and then of course C.J. Stroud in Houston. So there's a lot of youth in that division. So there's a lot of room for Tennessee to be okay.
So interesting fact. I just asked Bella, because I was like, "Hey, Bella, who's your team?" And she said LSU, and I was like, "You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls." So I was like, "NFL, who's your NFL team?" She's like, "It was the Saints," because I'm from New Orleans, and I was like, "Okay, he's already."
God forbid someone actually like the teams that they're around.
Whatever. So I'm like, anybody else? She goes, "Oh, the Titans are okay," and I was like,
"There you go, then. There you go, Tennessee Titans."
So we're gonna make Bella a Bears fan. I will work on that transition for her.
Yeah, you work on that.
Do you like Do you like Dolphins?
Like Flipper.
Aren't they cool? Dolphins are cool, right?
She's got a dolphin tattoo on her.
Dolphins.
Y'all come up here, man. Let Bella serve for you this evening. She will take great care of you, no doubt about that. Only got about 2 minutes.
She's
an LSU fan.
You got served. Is that a sports movie? It's dancing. Dancing, is that a sport? Competitive dancing?
Really? Are we still there?
Stomp the yard.
Well, I am still getting more text about it. And
I'm not going to call it a sports movie. I'm not saying dancing's not a sport, but not like.
That's fair. But I mean, we put Never Back Down. We should put Fight Club then.
Oh,
No.
Fight Club. How does Fight Club not get in if Never Back Down's in?
Fine.
All right. I mean, it's just for a play-in game.
Because I don't think the main
Are we allowed
plot
to
of
talk
Fight Club
about it,
is
though?
I don't know. Caveman Rick's not allowed to talk about it on Facebook anymore because he got
He's 1 minute
suspended
jail
for
again?
an hour again. He says he demands an explanation. We'll have to find out, man.
I don't know
am
what
not
it is.
entirely sure. Oh, wow. So the Atlanta Braves, what's the T for? Tennessee. All right. That is a really cool. You're going to get that tatted somewhere.
There
That's
you
dope.
go.
So
We're getting a tattoo, guys. Can that be a fantasy punishment? Like, can we go there?
no, I'm cool with like the going to have dinner with the sex doll though. I think that would be.
That one's awesome. Have you seen that video?
Yeah, I
Or the
also
blow
like
up
the
doll, I
Waffle House,
guess.
the 24 hours in Waffle House that you take away 1 hour for every waffle you eat.
See, I'm in a league that we do that, right? And no one's done it yet. So it's
See, I don't like
they
that.
changed the punishment.
You have to be down.
Yeah, whatever. We're out of time for today, though. You guys have been riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. The Coach James Hell Show is going to be live from 7 to 9 a.m. as it is every Monday through Friday. Then you're going to get to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley. The Afternoon Underdogs are back tomorrow with Amanda. You going to be there?
Of course I'll be there.
All right, we'll have Amanda Muller with us in studio. Drew Gorman is a question mark. We don't know how that injury to his work is going right now. And I'm David Hayes. So we'll be back tomorrow at 4. You guys have a great rest of your evening. The Atlanta Braves are coming up next. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
This is an excuse, and it's not a good excuse to use. But when you don't play at the Rogers Center very often, as Kevin Pillar did, who's now playing with the Atlanta Braves, you don't realize that just because on the field level you're not feeling the wind, it is still circulating up there.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Wednesday's weather forecast. A mixture of some clouds and a chance of thunderstorms tonight with a low near 71 and a wind between 1 to 5 miles per hour. A possibility of thunderstorms and slight fog tomorrow morning and a temperature of 81. Slightly hotter in the afternoon and evening around 82 with a likelihood of thunderstorms and some sun. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Barbaritos lets you say yes to fresh. If you don't know what to eat or where to get it, well, fret no more. Barbaritos is here to help with its